Shnei esronim la'ayel ha'echad, two of these measures for each of the rams, Lishnei ha'ilim, for the two of them, V'yisaron, and a single measure, lakeves ha'echad, for the one sheep. When we look at the word isaron in the sentence 15, the very first isaron, you'll notice that on top of the vav, there is not only the grammar mark that gives it its sound, but there's an extra dot.
And that's not a revi'i, right?
It's not a revi'i. It has a pashta after the nun sofit. So this is not a revi'i. This is not a reading mark.
And what does it
this
say
is actually something that when you look, that's actually something when you look in the part of Torah that doesn't normally have vowels and reading marks and so on. There is actually a dot in the Sefer Torah on top of that vav.
Just read what it says in the column.
Underneath it says Nikud. There is a dot al on top of vav batra, the second vav, right? Ve'isaron, vav ayin. So it's on the second vav shel ve'isaron. There's a dot that you have to place on top of that if you're writing the Sefer Torah. You don't include that dot, the Sefer Torah is not kosher. So what's the dot doing there? So we're talking about the last of these offerings that only gets one isaron. So the question is, when you're measuring out the grain, do you need a bowl that is one isaron, and a second bowl that is 2, and a second one that's 3? And for each of the sheep, you measure out from the one bowl, and for each of the rams, you measure out from the double-sized bowl, and for each of the bulls, you measure out from the triple-sized bowl. Or you have a one isaron measure, and you do it twice or 3 times. So when we're talking about the one, we have a single dot on it. So what do we learn from this? That you have a one isaron size bowl, and when you're measuring out 2, you use that bowl twice, and you measure it into another container, and when you have 3, you measure it out 3 times.
So it's not like our measuring cups that we have now, like
And if you are adding the 3 measures together, a 3 and a 2 and a 1, in order to make your 3 and your 2 and your 1, you use a one-size bowl. What letter do we have our dot on top of? 3 plus 2 plus 1, 3, 5, 6, above our 6. So that is our dot on top of, why did it appear on top of the vav? It tells you that it's for 1, 2, and 3, total of 6. That's where your dot is on the vav.
And that, I talked about Nafal, what you said before. Didn't you say one of your versions of the vav from Pinchas, from the Shalom, with a vav with a dot on the bottom? That's the Nafal of this one, right?
Nafal only applies to Purim.
No, but I'm saying.
Can I see that in your? Can I see that in your?